Hey everyone, it's Jess the Bling Realtor. The time has come for me to share a very embarrassing story. Now, I asked in a poll maybe 5 or 6 months ago what kind of horror story you guys wanted to hear from me. And option number 1 was the open house from hell. And option number 2 was a poop story. And for some reason, y'all chose poop story. So here we are. Okay. It was like a majority ruled. It wasn't like 55, 45%. It was literally like 93 and 7. 93 for poop, 7 for the open house from hell. Okay. So let's get into it. As you can see, like this is kind of embarrassing because like we're not supposed to talk about poop. Poop is not a discussion or like something that people talk about. I don't know why it's like so embarrassing. So there was a home that I sold a few years back, and it was time for me. I was doing a final walkthrough before the buyer came and got the keys. I was representing the seller, but in this case, the buyer was coming to get the keys because their agent wasn't able to for some reason. Okay. So I'm doing the walkthrough and I feel like rumbling in my stomach, like the kind where you're like, holy smokes, I'm not gonna make it. Like I was trying to hold it together so that I could just leave and go home. I was about 20 minutes away from home. So anyway, I'm doing this walkthrough and I'm like, man, I really don't want to go to the bathroom here. This buyer is coming. Like, this is so weird. I go to use the bathroom. Of course, it's number 2, maybe even number 3 if we want to really take it there, right? So thank God there's tissue. There's tissue there. So I'm using tissue. My client left some soap behind. I was like, this is so wonderful. Like, this is the best way that this could have worked out. I go to flush the freaking toilet and the water was off. It was so embarrassing. And there was some water that was in the reservoir because I tried to do a courtesy flush, right? I have some manners. I tried to do a courtesy flush and I got it. And then of course, when I go to flush the second time, there's nothing, like there's no water. And there's like still stuff in the toilet. So I'm panicking. I'm like, oh my gosh, the water was supposed to be on. Like, what the heck is going on? So I'm panicking. I'm like, I got like maybe 10 or 15 minutes, maybe before the buyer shows up. So I'm like, please don't let this person be one of those people that's like super early. Hopefully they're late or like right on time. So the quickest thing that I think of is there's a CVS right around the corner. I'm going to go there because I don't know about you all, but growing up, I don't know how we learned this actually. I think we might have run into a situation when I was younger where this happened. And I remember my mom getting water from the sink and pouring it into the toilet, and somehow the pressure flushes the toilet. So I was like, perfect, that's what I'm going to go do. So I run to CVS. This is how I know I was like in pure panic mode. Like I didn't even get a chance to just sit back and plan properly. I went and bought maybe 6 or 7 plus bottles, like not the 16 or not the like 8 or 12 ounce. I think it was like 16 or 24 ounce bottles. I bought like 7 or more than that of those. I get back to the house and I'm like dumping the water in the toilet, hoping and praying that this works. And finally, I think after like the 4th or 5th bottle, the toilet flushes. And thank goodness, everything got cleared out. As I was doing that, I had enough time to get the plastic bottles, put them in the bag, and then run them to my car. And as I'm walking back into the house from the car, the buyer pulls up to pick up their keys. I was just like, oh my gosh. And what I meant was, when I said I wasn't thinking straight, I could have went to CVS and bought like the gallon jugs of water to have poured instead of 7 of the smaller size ones. But yeah, that is the poop story and that's how it happened. I'm so embarrassed to have shared that with you all, but things happen We're not perfect. And with the water, it was a misunderstanding with the water company. So my client was able to call them and get the water restarted for the buyer. And thankfully the buyer wasn't moving in for a couple days. So everything was all rectified. We were all fine. But that's a story. I think, if I didn't have makeup on, you probably would see all this blushing under here. But yeah, that's my poop story. So I hope it was as entertaining as it was for you, as it was for me telling this and reliving this. But yeah, this happened a few years ago and I will never forget it. So thank you for listening to this crazy story. And for all of you that voted for this, here you go. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.